big jump.
It is.
Now let's move on
to
get the inside track on Chanel and its designer. He is almost as recognisable as the brand's double C logo.
Karl Lagerfeld, that's who we're talking about, has been at the helm, there he is, of the French fashion house for over 3 decades. Now, for a man in his 80s, I have to tell you what, his schedule is relentless.
Indeed, he still does 8 collections a year for the brand, not to mention his work on his own label and Fendi. The shows are the pinnacle of fashion theatre. They need to be, though, in a way, because the clothes are only for those with blockbuster budgets.
But the price tags don't seem to be putting customers off. Most items, listen to this, actually have a waiting list. Well, as we mentioned, Victoria Fritz, our very own, caught up with him in London and began by asking how he reinvigorated the Chanel brand.
I'm not pretentious enough to say that maybe my work over there helps, but it was a strong image in the past, and the problem was to bring it into the present and the near future. So why and how, you cannot say that. There is no rule, no recipe, because if not, every label would be in the same situation. This is something what is a mystery to myself also. And I like the idea of a mystery, that it became that successful again. In fact, it's 10 times bigger than it ever was in her days, but her days were different. The way people are see people, how the way things communicate is so different that you cannot compare.
Vision and irreverence are words that have been used to describe both you and Coco Chanel. Do you feel that you have a business partner separated by the eras?
I'm not into business, so I don't ever think in terms of business, I don't go do meetings, I don't do marketing things, nothing. I just think, let's try this, let's do this, let's do this. There is a certain lightness in the way I work. When I took over the house, the owner said to me, for the moment it's not very trendy. I'm not really proud of it. Do what you want. If it works, okay. If it doesn't work, I sell it. But it worked beyond.
When you're designing a collection, do you have to bear in mind whether something is going to be commercially successful, or is it just the art?
I never think about that. I just do what my inner voices tell me. I'm the Joan of Arc of design. I don't ask myself this kind of question. I'm not a marketing person. I work with instinct. Sometimes I'm surprised myself. I work a lot for the bin. I throw a lot away. But what finally we show is something what is exactly on my sketch the same way that it's finished.
Your latest show was based on the idea of an airport.
The way an airport should be.
The ideal, the dream
because,
airport.
It's vaguely different now.
And travel is clearly an important part of your clients' and your customers' lives.
Today it's all over the world. In Chanel days there were America, perhaps Europe, little South America. But in her days, China, Middle East, Russia, there were no markets.
The shows are the pinnacle of fashion theatre. You have more YouTube subscribers than any of your rivals, yet you don't live stream your shows and you don't sell online. Why is that?
This you have to ask the president of Chanel, because they sell some certain things online and in jewelry and things like this. But they have hundreds and hundreds of shops all over the world. If you have a few shops, you have to sell online. If you have hundreds and hundreds of shops all over the world, you don't have to. And from you to me, I think it's still pleasant to go to a beautiful shop, and the Chanel shops are beautiful, touch the things, see the things. Online you buy what you see, but in a shop you can discover what you may not have seen, you see. I think the pleasure of shopping is a cultural activity of our days.
And you don't see a world in which e-commerce or selling online could be almost a couture experience where you order online and people come and deliver to you and help you with fittings?
Yeah, it never happened to me, so I don't know.
You're well known for your energy levels, and I hear you can
Thanks
survive.
God, you need. If you do 8 collections for one house alone, you better have a little energy.
What is it that drives you?
Doing for doing, loving what I'm doing, loving fashion. I don't know, all this kind of elements make that it becomes normal to me. when you breathe, you don't ask yourself why, because you breathe. I don't have to ask nobody. I said, I want to do this, let's try, etc. Nobody says no. You know, that is the top of luxury.
Karl Lagerfeld. Yeah, that was an exclusive. That was a BBC exclusive. I'm wondering if you could see in those
Do you want to
glasses.
say that one more
Those
time?
glasses. It's a dark
Karl
room.
Lagerfeld there, fantastic.